Right, good evening. My name is David, and this evening I'm running a session of Heart. Heart is a new game by Grant Taylor and Chris Howitt. I've switched the names around there by Chris Taylor and Grant Howitt. They from Aaron Rook and Deckard. They produced a previous game called Spire, which Heart is set in the same world as and uses a variant on the same system. So it's kind of a successor to that game. Heart is a game of sort of desperate treasure hunters going down into this sort of nightmare underworld underneath the Spire, which is this sort of mile-high city, to search out for fame and fortune. Though against very, very high odds, as the Heart does not like people being inside it and fights to keep people out. This game is currently on Kickstarter. There'll be a link to the Kickstarter and further information on the game down in the text below if you're watching this on YouTube. This game has been arranged via the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing game community. We have a website at gauntlet-rpg.com. We, as a sort of community, we have a number of different bits and pieces that we do. There is a podcast network which has several very good podcasts, some well worth a listen. There is a monthly role-playing magazine called Codex, which touches on all sorts of story games and OSR stuff and other bits and pieces. There are new games in there, supplements for existing games, all sorts of stuff. Well worth a look at that. We also have some forums and the Hangouts calendar itself, where games like this are arranged. So if you're interested in any of that, do check out the website below. So for our delve into Heart this evening, I'm joined by 3 players, 2 of whom were here last time, and Jim, who's joining us for the first time in this series. So, as I said, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, I'll just go through in character keeper order as that's convenient. So, Donna, if you'd like to.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Donna McCarthy. My pronouns are he, him. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland, and tonight I'm going to be playing Ishkran, who is a witch, and his calling is the heart song. So he is delving deeper and deeper in order to fulfill some kind of desire or calling inside him. Since last week, I think, having fulfilled a minor beat, I have picked up a new minor ability, black magic, which seems very fitting given what I just did to that poor little haven.
Excellent. Yes, we'll get onto that in a moment. Leandro.
Sorry about that. Just accidentally turned his tab into his own window. Sorry. Hi. I'm Leandro. I use he and pronouns. I'm also based in Dublin, Ireland. Again, this never happens. I've never seen 2 people in the same city in any of these games. That's weird. Unless they're in the same room, but we're not, sadly. Yeah, and for tonight, whenever you're watching this, I'm playing Morrow. She uses the heretic class, which means she is essentially Heart's ideal of a cleric, but they're still really weird because this is the Heart. She is kind of like a scholar / priest of the Church of the Moon Beneath. She also has the calling of enlightenment, in which case that she's someone who is looking for answers, secrets. And the big secret she's looking for is physical, definite proof of the Goddess 3, the aforementioned moon, somewhere deep below in the heart. And this journey of these sessions have kind of been instigated by her. She's off looking for what's called the Knight's Cathedral, which leads to which is apparently a tributary leading to the heart. She got assigned this witch. They've had banter. They've had some not really laughs. No, serious discussions about religion and what drives them, and laughs, some laughs. She has a groovy gauntlet, as Donna has called it. I think, yeah, we'll see more. We'll see more of her tonight, hopefully.
Brilliant. And yeah, finally, Jim, who's joining us for the first time this evening. So yeah, Jim, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the character you're bringing in.
Sure. I'm Jim Crocker. Folks that know me from outside the Gauntlet probably know me because I've been a retailer of role-playing games for many, many years, for a couple of decades at this point. You can find me online on Twitter at Jim Likes Games, and I've got a website, jimlikesgames.com, if you want to go read about me doing a little bit of blogging about games and podcast where I recap sessions that I've played and called Just Played. That's where you can find links to that. I am just coming into this right now. So am not really familiar with the rules, but I went ahead and created a character of the sort that I play in a whole lot of other games, which is the well-meaning cop who got in over his head and ended up he now has to make up for some sort of terrible mistake that he made. I guess we'll play to find out what that was. So Scuttlebutt Gutterword is his name, and whether that's probably not his given name that his parents gave him, but it is what the local folks call him. And I'm a penitent, which means that I betrayed the trust of my order due to negligence, cowardice, or malice, and caused them great harm. Now, racked with guilt, I've sworn to make amends by venturing deep into the heart and performing acts in service of my order. And I'm a hound, which means I am one of the folks descended from a mercenary company who have kind of, it sounds almost kind of like default because of a lack of real authority close to the heart, become the kind of loose organization that people look to when there are problems. And so it sounds like sort of cops, sort of troubleshooters. And I can't imagine that, we are necessarily all of the same mind on whether we are there to take advantage or to actually help people. And it may be a little bit of both. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that rattles out. And for one of my minor abilities, I took liquid courage. You've developed a drinking habit to stay sane because the booze isn't going to be what kills you. And I suspect that may have had something to do with how I let my order down. That is probably not a new drinking habit that I am in the midst of, but it'll be interesting to see how that rattles out and how I get along with my new friends here.
Brilliant, thank you. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing how this all shakes out. Yes, so when we last left,
can I ask ask a quick mechanical question before we get started?
Yep.
Now, I'm supposed to mark some beats before we start, and how does that work?
That's right. So you will have, in fact, yeah, we'll do that first for everyone, I think. So yeah, you'll see on your actual character sheet bit itself, there are a number of minor, major, and zenith beats there. Well, there's only one zenith beat generally, but so you get to click. I think probably you can start with one minor and one major if you want, because you're coming in partway through. One minor and one major beat ticked as active. And basically, when that thing happens in game, you mark that as done, and you gain a new advance, which is kind of the size of the beat that you ticked. Obviously, they sort of escalate in seriousness depending on what you've done, depending on sort of which rank they're at. And obviously, some of these are sort of mechanical things. Some of them are things that you can kind of lean into in the fiction. Yes. So for the two of you that were here last time, at the beginning of each session, you get to choose which 2 beats you have marked. You don't sort of have to keep one until you fulfill it. If you don't want to, you can. If you decide that actually this session you want to try and aim something else, you can fiddle them about.
So just to so that I can hand you something that's fun, I'm going to say interact with an NPC who hates me for what I've done.
Yep, that sounds good.
As my minor beat, and then for my major one, I'm gonna and what it's entirely. I presume the major thing is like entirely possible you might not hit that in any given session. That's probably you go several sessions before
Possibly
you're necessarily gonna.
I mean, it depends what it is. It might be some. They tend to be take a little bit more to do, but obviously as this will be essentially the final session, we can have some fairly dramatic stuff go off.
Okay, so I'm going to say create a new landmark dedicated to my order as my major beat.
Excellent. Cool. So, Ishkran, Morrow, are you both happy with your beats you've got marked?
Yeah, well, I marked the 2 take fallout ones, 1 major, 1 minor. So that's all very much like whatever happens to me. I think kind of reflects Morrow's single-mindedness.
Sure.
She'll take fallout. It'll be fine.
That sounds good.
I kept the consume something of the heart that I had last session, and then to replace the one that I hit, I have picked sacrifice someone important to the heart.
Excellent.
It's all good.
Yeah. Cool. So when last we saw Morrow and Ishkran, they had journeyed from the haven of Midden, which was sort of a little kind of shanty town type affair just inside the heart itself. So as I said, the way the heart works is that it is theoretically it does lie beneath the city of Spire, and theoretically it's split into tiers. Tiers 1, 2, 3, and then 4, which is the heart itself. Space is a little odd within the heart. Everything is a little odd within the heart. The higher up in tier you are, so if you're at tier 1, things are mostly normal but a little bit odd. The deeper down you go, the stranger and more dangerous and inhospitable it gets. Up in the top layer, up in tier 1, there are quite a few settlements and places where people live, but those become less and less both common and safe the further down you go. As I said, once you hit the heart itself, it is all bets are off at that point. It's a very, very strange place. But where we saw you last, you journeyed down to the town or the haven of Nightmarket, which is a small collection of tents inside a large stretch of cavern that appears to be under some sort of curse that renders it continually shrouded in darkness. Darkness unusual even for being down underground here where you are. The torchlight flickers and dies in it. Even those of you who can kind of those of you who are drow who can kind of see in the darkness find that you can't see much further than the end of your nose, really. However, they managed to make it through to Nightmarket, which this settlement appears to have some protection against the encroaching darkness in the form of a giant glowing purple crystal, which emanates out and creates an area of eldritch light that these settlers have clustered in. Although last time we saw Ishkran, he had just conducted a ritual to taint this crystal in service to the heart. So it is quite possible that the town of Nightmarket will not remain in its current form for much longer. Added into this, Morrow had spoken to the master of the market, and in exchange for a brief glimpse of the divine, he had informed her that there was an Elfir archaeologist currently staying at the camp, by the name of Dewdrops on Listen Boughs, who was had unearthed these artifacts of the Knights Cathedral that Morrow was investigating. But I think we will start with Scuttlebutt. What is Scuttlebutt doing in Nightmarket when we see him? Oh, sorry, Jimmy, you're muted.
I've got too many places where I can mute it on the screen and my mic, and oh my God, I was like, I looked at my mic and it was, I had the clean red light. So okay, I think Scuttlebutt. We see Scuttlebutt. Like there's this red market and there's all the market stalls and stuff like that, and I just picture this as being like the kind of thing where like the stalls are like crammed right in next to each other, and there's a lot of elbowing and fighting, and like, you know, you're 6 inches into my space, and you know, none of this is upheld by any formal civic authority. It's all like loose coalitions of merchants and, you know, mutually assured destruction and stuff like this. And so Scuttlebutt, because he's got that hound badge, like when we come upon him, we see him standing there and he's got his arms crossed and he's just nodding, because there are 2 merchants, one of whom is a lady who sells candles that she makes out of like guano or something like that. And the other one who tumbles garnets by hand in a rock tumbler to make things that look like pretty little jewels that you can put into, you know, jewelry or something. But whatever, it's basically just cheap rocks that he finds out there somewhere. And they have a dispute over like where the line between their 2 booths is, and they're both just yelling at me, like each of them making the case that I should find in their favor and like, you know, do something to the other one. And it's not quite clear what they think I'm gonna do, but like I am there just nodding and just kind of waiting for one of them just to wear themselves out, as they're just kind of haranguing me.
Sure thing. And yeah, I think the woman selling the candle says, "Look, mister, I tell you what, you put this man here in his place, his rightful place, which is to say back over the line, and I'll give you 3 of my finest devilback candles. These things are guaranteed to light your way, even in this accursed darkness."
And I kind of sigh and I turn and look at the guy with the, you know, the jeweler, the rock tumbler.
Oh, that's how it's going to be, is it? Well, then he pulls out just a small pendant, and again, it's kind of, well, it's difficult to say exactly what color it is, because it's essentially like you're in a sort of you know, under constant like black light sort of thing. In here it's just that kind of intense purple light over everything, but it's a kind of obviously a shiny stone of some sort on the end of a leather thong. And he says, "This, I'll give you this, very precious, very valuable, if you sort her out, move her on, get her stinking candles away from me."
And I kind of smile and I reach out and I place a hand on both of their shoulders and I say, "Now that both of you have attempted to suborn me, we can settle this the easy way. You get a fan or something, waft the smoke from your candles in the direction of waft the smoke from your candles in the direction of the rat kebab cellar next door. No one will notice it going that way. You, and I point at the guy with the I can clearly see where your pendants are hanging over the, your tree that you put them on is on the ground in your space, but clearly it's hanging over, into hers. Just move it back 6 inches, because otherwise I will take both of you out, and I point like 20 feet down at a guy who is actually standing on stilts. And he is he's selling hats, right? So he's got like 10 hats up on top of his head that would, made of whatever felt or like rat fur and stuff like this and everything. And he is walking on stilts because he doesn't have a place in the market. So he has to like kind of stand up above there. I'll say, I'll give him both of your spaces and he will prosper. So work it out.
Excellent. Tell you what, I'll have you make a roll for this. So this will be it's probably I see this as being a probably compel Haven roll. Though
Sure.
if you have any alternate suggestions, then feel free to make them.
Nope. I think that completely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. This works the same as Inspire. So you always roll 1d10 for any roll, regardless of whatever else you're doing. If you have the applicable skill, you add an additional dice. If you have the applicable domain, you add an additional dice. If you have anything that gives you mastery, you also roll an additional dice. There are multiple ways of getting mastery, but you only ever apply it once to any given roll. So I believe that will put you at two dice for this roll.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Highest. Yep.
Yeah, because I don't have compel, but I do have Haven. So that's 2d10.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll just go ahead and submit that right in. Oh, there's a 10 on my second die.
Yeah, excellent.
Swanky.
So yeah, you succeed, and the in fact, yeah. So I think as you got a 10,
this is like the ideal hound solution because no one is happy with the outcome. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the gem tumbler will grudgingly just kind of shift his apparatus across the counter to give the candle seller a bit more space. And yeah, she kind of shifts her chair around so she's got her back to the gem tumbler, and she kind of uses her fan to keep this kind of acrid smelling smoke blowing away. But you know and everything seems to be relatively peaceful. But the candle seller will say, "Thank you, anyway, Mr. Hound. Look, go on, out of the kindness of my heart," and she will hand you one of the candles.
And I just kind of do one of these, and I say, I cannot take that since I have not paid you for it. I appreciate your gesture, but and I just kind of like point over like that, and definitely the gem guy is kind of like watching us shifty-eyed, and I'm like he'll if I take this, he'll just start in on you again.
Sure thing. She'll shrug and say, "Well, suit yourself, sir. Suit yourself." Cool. And I think we will switch to Morrow. So, Morrow, what's Morrow doing when we see her?
She's entering the tent where this archaeologist, she was told where this archaeologist dewdrops will be. I think it's time to talk to who I was looking for, basically.
Yep. So yeah, you pass through the market. You possibly see this, very, very minor and subdued confrontation going on at the market stall as you walk past. But yes, you see a tent. It's it almost looks like, I mean, when I say pavilion, not like a big wedding pavilion type thing, but like the those classic sort of jousting pavilions, the sort of circular ones with like the pointy roof. It looks like it's certainly, again, difficult to tell under the lighting, but it probably is actually white and still mostly white, even down here. Amidst the grime, it's doing that sort of like slightly almost glowing thing under the harsh purple lighting. And you can see what looks almost like silver traceries in the fabric as well. It definitely looks like the tent of an elf here, as Master Vare told you to look out for.
Yeah, I'll kind of roll my eyes. If anyone could even see me roll my eyes, because Morrow's wearing a full full set of armor. I think she'll take in the drapery and whatnot, and would just march in with no decorum whatsoever.
And as you walk in, there is a figure sort of knelt down before an angled like writing desk, almost like one of those sort of a sort of draftsman's board, those sort of angled writing things. But there is like some paper on there, but they appear to be studying something, a twisted lump of metal through an eyeglass. They turn to you. They have very long, very straight, silvery hair, and they're wearing a mask that is it is probably metal, and it's shaped into kind of wavy scalloped effect down it. And you'll see that the eyeglass I have actually screws onto like a threaded attachment around the eyepiece on one of the mask's eye holes. Yes. Who are you, and what are you doing in my tent?
Morrow ignores the question and says, "Your dewdrops, correct?"
My name is Dewdrops on Listen Boughs. That is correct.
Have you been in the heart-long Dewdrops on Listen Boughs?
Yes, I have been down here for, well, it is difficult to say. Time is difficult to track here, if it even moves at the same speed. I cannot be sure.
But you can still feel time, can't you? On your bones, settling in.
Yes, I can.
Good. That means you're still sane. Now, I've heard that you've made a discovery or two of late. Dewdrops on Listen Boughs.
That is why I am here. Well, it's one of the reasons I am here. They kind of make a vague, dismissive gesture with their hand. But how did you learn of me and of my discoveries?
My methods are irrelevant. All I want are results. And you, Dewdrops on Listen Boughs, You're my next step.
I see. And what path is it that you are currently walking?
I think Morrow kind of moves closer to Dewdrop's armor, just like clinking. And I think you can see more clearly now the gauntlet in her left hand, which is kind of like scrapped together. But I think you can see that like there's a faint moonlit glow coming from it and from Morrow herself. It's one of the minor abilities she has, and she says, "I seek enlightenment, dewdrops on listened boughs. I seek truth."
Well, the truth comes in many forms. My inquisitive one.
And perhaps you'll help to shape the truth into a form I need. The night's cathedral, dewdrops on listened boughs.
Yes, most intriguing. Long thought, nothing more than a myth, but I think I may have found some evidence of it. I cannot direct you to it, but I might know a way of finding it.
I will not be here if you only might know of a way of finding it.
Then allow me to rephrase. I know a way, and I might tell you. But why should I share my discoveries with you? What will you do for me?
A price, of course. Foolish of me to think there wouldn't be a price. What price are you looking for? Dewdrops on listened boughs.
That is a good question. How about this? I will tell you how you might find the cathedral. But I wish you to return something for me.
Well, out with it.
You should find in there religious texts, I would have thought. And it is said there was a great catacomb beneath the cathedral. There is a saint who may be buried beneath. I wish you to bring me their grave marker and what remains maybe of them in whatever state they may be.
I think Morrow kind of like leans forwards a bit and says, "You'll have your relic. Now the way."
And they will reach down into a sort of case. It appears to be lined with dark velvet. There are several items within, and they will pull out a. It's metal. It does appear. It's actually not dissimilar to the piece that you found before, but it seems to be. Whereas the one you had before was just kind of like a kind of commemorative plaque or something similar. This is this actually appears to be an overtly religious object. It's a symbol of the moon beneath, or at least of the tripartite goddess. It looks like it may have come from some form of decoration from inside the temple. But as they pass it to you, you can feel it has an unnatural weight to it. It has a sort of certain presence. I believe this was brought directly from the cathedral not so very long ago. The individuals I found it on had died quite horribly, but I think it has spent enough time in the cathedral that an enterprising individual could use it as a lodestone of sorts.
I think I take the artifact from him with my left hand, just kind of like very a bit carelessly, and can't see, but I think you can tell that Morrow is kind of like grinning, and she says, "You'll find," Dewdrop said, "I'm nothing if not enterprising. You'll have your relic, and I'll have everything I ever wanted."
We shall see. But I wish you every success in your endeavor.
I think, yeah, Morrow kind of like snorts and it turns her back on Dewdrops and marches off.
Excellent. And I think Ishkran, you will see as you completed your ritual, you will have noticed for a little time that sort of momentary flicker of red within the purple crystal. It's very, very subtle, but you can still see that pulsing light just occasionally coming out of it. And as I mentioned before, you can hear the keening sound of bats around the outside of the haven. You'll see a tall, actually a human. He is. He's wearing a long coat. He's got one of these long, sort of spear halberdy things that the guardsmen here seem to use, as well as a shotgun, basically slung over one shoulder. And you can see a couple of the guardsmen have sort of come up to him and seem to be kind of talking to him in hushed but energetic tones. And he will, I think, as he's heading also towards the market, he'll actually, or not towards the market, I should say, towards sort of the center of this, where you are. He will actually stop, say, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
I should ask you the same question.
My name's Garrick. I'm head of the guard here in town. He's kind of going to give you a look up and down. You've a strange look to you, lad.
That's the nicest thing anyone said to me all day. But really, I must ask, what will you do when night falls? Will you protect these people, or will you run to save yourself?
I'll fight and I'll protect them. The devil bats have been getting, the attacks have been getting more frequent. It's nothing we can't handle. Now, oh, there, go ahead.
Ishkran, with his left hand, wipes away some of the blood that's on his shoulder and puts that bloody hand on Garrick's shoulder. Well, you'd best plan your defense if they are getting bolder. Me, I'll be leaving soon. I'll be going deeper, and maybe I'll be safer there than here.
You're a fool if you think you'll be safer going any further than we are here. But fools aren't my business, so he'll pull out like a couple of sten, which is like the tiny, there's basically shards of iron that are used as very low denomination currency. There's a couple of sten in it for you, lad, if you can go down the market and gather up anyone who's capable of holding a weapon.
Your little trinkets are of no interest to me, Garrick.
Suit yourself, lad. I guess I'll go to it myself. But, well, if you're going deeper down, I've no doubt our paths won't cross again. I'd wish you the best, but hardly seems worth it.
Oh, that's very wise. You'll need all of your luck for yourself.
Excellent. Cool. And I think we will take a quick break there, about 5 minutes. Then we'll come back and hopefully get people together. Cool. Welcome back, everyone. So, yeah, I think by this point, Morrow will have left the Elfir's tent. And it is at this point, I think, apparent to all of you that the guards are on high alert. There's leaping into action. You can see them kind of fending off dark shapes, swooping around the edge of the purplish light that is that's sort of projected from this crystal. And I think even some of the people in the market are starting to kind of gather up their belongings to move to, well, what passes for safer ground, which is probably just to say in a tent. So what do you do?
I think Ishkran goes to find Morrow, wondering if he's taken care of this business with the G-drop archaeologist, on account that we should be leaving soon.
Yeah, I think Morrow sees the commotion and partially she doesn't give a shit about these people. And when Moses like, yeah, I've got the thing. I don't know what's happening over there. That's be a bigger fish to fry. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go marching off. I don't think Morrow's got the thing, so she's not even like thinking about Ishkran. She just kind of like was automatically like, all right, I'm heading off. Like the only thing's gonna stop Morrow is if, I don't know, devil bats get in her way.
Yes, I think you probably are aware that as you sort of draw closer towards the edge of the encampment, yeah, it's obvious that there are lots of these devil bats moving around in the darkness at the periphery of the camp, occasionally darting into the light and going for somebody. The guards seem to be doing an adequate job of kind of fending them off, but there seem to be a lot of them, and they are getting bolder and angrier.
Well, if I look around near me, who do I see? Just the guards?
Yeah. So I guess Scuttlebutt. How have you reacted to this?
Once it's clear that there's something going on that is like, and there's creatures coming in that are gonna, and they are very clearly intent on messing everybody up. I'm not super worried about the crystal or trying to fight them off. I am trying to like get people, like, because in the red market, everybody's probably trying to like they don't want to abandon their booth, or they want to like somehow try and carry all of their wares with them to safety. That's like just not a thing that's going to happen. And so, I mean, if I have to, I'm just like grabbing people and tossing them, like saying, get out of here, kicking them in the ass to get them moving. These trinkets aren't worth your life, I say, as I'm booting them. And then if I see the other two, like if I see Morrow standing there, like, I mean, and if you look anything like your picture does, I point at the blade that you've got at your waist and I say, you know how to use that?
I pull out what looks like the blade. It's actually just a small cross. And
do you know how to use that? I say.
Better tools to be used against these bats than this.
Well, do something then, because friend, I don't know if you're just passing through, but they will eat your face as much as any of these people here.
I think I do the helmeted equivalent of raising an eyebrow and say like, well then, tell everyone else and get yourself to cover your ears.
And I shrug and do one of these.
Right. So I'll turn to face this crowd of bats, and you can't see it in behind my helmet, but my eyes just kind of roll on the back of my head, and I kind of like fall to my knees as my body shivers, and the part of me connects to the moon beneath, to the three goddesses. So, but I have to roll this spell to see if it works. Communion. So let's see. That's compel religion. I have those three. Let's see. Let me look at my stress. Actually, my stress is a 6. Do I? You know what? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna. So what I'm doing is that my relic, which is the groovy gauntlet that I have, it has a tag called Conduit, which lets me, if I mark some D4 stress, let me double check. I mark some stress for sure. I can roll with mastery, so I can add another D4 stress. So I think what this looks like is, again, the gauntlet kind of like just pulses with power as I kind of use it to connect with the goddesses. So I'm gonna roll D4 first. Where are my dice? Selected. Ah, Jesus. Okay, that's 3. So I have 8 stress in in mind. I still haven't rolled to see if this spell works. I'm just gonna roll now. Okay, that's a 9. Okay, cool. So this spell, what it looks like is, on a success, anyone who can hear you aside from yourself marks D4 stress in mind. Although I took the minor upgrade, which means it's up to D6, and that's why I told Scuttlebutt to cover their ears. Everyone else is gonna hear this.
Sure thing. Yeah, if you'd like to roll me that D6.
God. Watch me roll a 1. Oh, I rolled a 5. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. You let out a well, not a scream, I guess, but words come out of your mouth that, or possibly not even words, but certainly sounds that seem like they should be words. and you hear the sounds of thudding as bats start falling out of the sky, slamming into the ground around you. A couple of the guardsmen who didn't quite react quickly enough or realize what was going on are likewise dropping to their knees with blood streaming down from their ears and eyes. But yes, you can definitely feel that the volume of bats in your immediate vicinity has very definitely gone down.
And did you drop to your knees at that, Morrow?
Yeah, I think I'm on my knees as I was kind of like letting out this.
Okay, yeah, and that's and whatever, and if you like, and like a mailed, like a leather gloved hand presses and kind of comes into your field of vision, like holding out a hand, like to help you up, and I say, how about that? You did know how to use it, kind of to do like one of these, like boom, like haul you to your feet.
I think I kind of like, again, you can't see this because I'm wearing this full mask. I can't do a facial expression, but I think Morrow just says like, oh, that and more, friend. And I take your hand.
Yeah, haul her up.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just seeing. So yes, you have taken another minor fallout from that. From activating the glove anyway, and I will just decide which one I'm going to give you, but you will obviously get that advance from hitting one of your beats, Leandro. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that actually. It seems appropriate with plays into the thing. The kind of the voices that you've been, whereas before you've had this odd whisper occasionally from the glove, it's now a you can hear kind of voices scratching at the back of your head almost constantly in a sort of distracting kind of way, even though on the one hand it kind of feels like a what's it like it sort of feels like the connection to your goddess, but kind of but kind of like almost out of tune, as if you were, like if a sort of radio tuned between stations, almost that kind of odd, that distortion to it. The specific thing you have at the moment is you have take the edge off. You can't get your head right until you have a drink in you or something stronger still. Until you reach a haven with access to intoxicants and render yourself insensible, roll 2 dice when you mark stress to mind and pick the higher. Basically you're kind of almost like over overstimulated, over.
So I just want to be
Yeah.
100% clear that what you're saying is she needs to get drunk with somebody.
Yep.
Just okay.
Yeah.
Making sure.
I think
I wonder
heard
where
that
we'll find
correctly.
someone like that.
yeah. I wonder where we'll find that. Yeah, I think this kind of manifests as just like as you haul up Morrow, she's kind of like, well, as much as exciting as this market has turned out to be, there are things that must be done. Clearly, things aren't safe here as was advertised. I'm going to need to go. If you find any if you find any particularly sassy witches around here, tell them I've already headed off. It's critical. I need to go where I need to be going. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
They call me Scuttlebutt around here.
Well, they call me Morrow wherever I go. Well, mostly because I tell them to call me that, because that's my name. And I think, again, you can't see that she's smiling at Scuttlebutt.
Well, Morrow, thank you. Thank you for the tip to cover my ears.
I think Ishkran was kind of pretty much behind you all the time, right? You just were too focused on your magic. And I turn to Scuttlebutt and say, her faith is quite a remarkable thing, you know.
And yeah, and I'm a little startled to suddenly have you standing there. And I kind of pause. And I do that thing where I sort of take a step back and I look you up and down. And I kind of point and I turn to Morrow, and I say, he looks sassy. This is...
And I think what you notice then, and maybe it's disturbing that you didn't notice before, is one of those bats, those hell creatures, those heart beasts, is in Ishkran's hand, and he is cutting into it with a ritual dagger. And then he plucks out the heart and downs it in one go.
Yes, this is the sassy one, amongst other things, clearly. Ishkran, this is Scuttlebutt. Scuttlebutt, this is Ishkran. I hope the two of you become lovely friends.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Was that any good?
Delicious.
I
need something to wash it down, though.
I probably would have cooked it, but wash it down. Wash it down is where I come in. So, like, just to kind of step out for a second, how much of a mess is it here? Like, does it look like this place is just like going down and it's a abandoned ship, or what's going on here?
Not right at the moment. You think that certainly Morrow has sent a lot of the bats that we're attacking running. What you're not aware of yet is that this settlement is very much on the timer. The crystal is going to fail soon, and when it does, the settlement will be gone. I mean, people may escape and may survive, but yeah.
Okay, so but it seemed like it's we're not in like fire alarm drill.
No, there's a bit of
okay.
there's definitely still an air of panic, but yeah, it's not
okay.
Not sort of kind of a usual amount of panic for kind of like life down here, rather than like actually this is the end sort of thing.
All right, and so the market has been abandoned and kind of everybody has kind of gone running and sought shelter and stuff like that. So I walk over to the stall where the guy sells mushroom wine. That's actually, and you actually can make wine out of mushrooms. Mm-hmm. And I like take a big jug of it and I like you said, there's whatever little bits of steel we use for, oh, you know what I would do? Like I take a jug and I reach into my belt and I take one of my bullets from my gun out and I leave the bullet on the counter as payment. And I kind of hold it up to the two of them, and I say, "Oh wait, let me make sure it's good." And I, pop the whatever. I pull the stopper out, and like I take a long swig of it. Earthy, with hints of shit. Yes, it's shit. That's the note that I'm detecting. It's all we've got though, and I just kind of hand it like I'm handing it since I think it was Ishkran that first mentioned having something to wash it down with. I hand it to Ishkran.
I think this is not Ishkran's first mushroom wine. He smells at it like he's expecting there to be some magic in it. But maybe, size as it's just regular old mushroom. But takes a hearty swig and passes it on to Morrow. Let me give you some friendly advice then, seeing as we are lovely friends all of a sudden, Scuttlebutt. You're better off with us.
I think Morrow takes the wine and kind of like just quickly like takes a swig. Okay, now I have to figure out. Does she lift her helmet up a bit just so you can take a swig? No, she's got the fallout.
You've got a straw, right?
No.
It's like a visor and there's breathing holes in there, but one is specifically for a straw, right?
No, I think I'm gonna follow the fallout and say like she kind of like rather like uncharacteristically just takes a swig and she realizes like there's voices and they kind of be numbing and mushroom wine. Just had plenty of mushroom wine. I think when she lifts up the visor, she'll take a quick swig. I think people will see like there's like a hint of like pale skin, like absolutely not drow skin. But then she puts the helmet back down. She finished drinking. Quick swig.
I am getting the sense that the both of you, Mr. Sassy and Mrs. Not Sassy, Ms. Not Sassy, Mrs. Miss Not Sassy. I'm getting the sense that you know something about what's going on here that I do not. So, and I like take 2 more bullets. I take 3 more bullets. I put them down. I just grab 3 jugs, hand 1 to each of my friends, and I have a full one. And I say, perhaps we could go somewhere. And I kind of like indicate the like bits of fighting that is still going on where that will not disturb us. And you can fill me in on what's going on.
I think Morrow kind of pulls out the relic that she got, and she says, "Will the cathedral be plenty peaceful for you?"
It depends on whom it is a cathedral dedicated to, I suppose. Ms.
It's dedicated to the moon, Scuttlebutt.
It has been a long time since I have seen the moon. If we go there, will I get to see the moon?
That and more, I hope, Scuttlebutt. That
well,
and more.
Lead on, Ms. Morrow.
I think again she's smiling, but you can't see. I'm just gonna smile for her. And yeah, I think just seeing all that, she'll move to exit the market and just
Sure thing. And as you start moving, as you move away to the edge of the market, it's funny because it's almost like the darkness is moving closer to you as well. So it goes quicker than you're expecting. and once again you are enveloped within the surrounding darkness of the strange cursed lands. You will be able to pull your light trick again. I won't make you roll for this at the moment, but we are entering another delve. So the way these work, for the benefit of Jim, is that the essentially you'll have a number of encounters, things that will happen on your journey. I'll basically put forward a scenario. If you can come up with a way you can think of getting through it, then we'll roll something appropriate. Depending on how well you do, that will kind of mark down. There's essentially, the delve has almost like hit points that you're trying to knock down, and once you reach the end, then you reach your destination. So, as I say, you move through the darkness, and I think actually the first thing you will encounter is that you have this essentially oh yes, sorry, Donna, I meant so yes, that did count as, yeah, that is, it was absolutely a heart's blood beast. So yes, that's you can mark your advance for that. So yeah, you will start into the darkness once again. A very small area around Morrow is bathed in sort of silvery moonlight that seems to hold the darkness at bay a little. So you're kind of able to see at least where you're walking, if not exactly where you're going to. But you are aware there are still packs of these heart's blood bats flapping around you. They're quite large packs, it seems to be. Some of them just seem to be skirting by you, but you are sort of aware of them around you. How are you going to get through this safely, do you think? If anyone wants to make a suggestion.
I turn to my companions and say, I do not think that they will respect my badge in the way that some of the other denizens of this place we run into might. And I kind of look at the witch and I'm like, do you have anything sassy for this?
So Ishkran grins at your little joke. I think you notice his teeth are a little bit sharper than they must have been the last time you saw him. And I think he stands out in front of the other pair and raises his hands and screams out in this really high-pitched supersonic cry that sounds exactly like the not what Morrow did, but what the bat-winged beasts sound like.
But I kind of love that as soon as I see you open your mouth and sound starts to come up, I immediately ah! I saw what happened to those other guards. Yeah.
Excellent.
So just for flavor, I just took the Wild Witch ability. You bear the mark, antlers of glistening bone, the eyes of a predator, or a mouthful of sharp teeth. Gain the wild domain. So I think maybe the form of the bat is coming out a little bit.
Excellent. That sounds good. Yes. So I think this probably be a compel. Wild would work. Either wild or rare curse would probably work. So yeah, I think compel wild for this.
Okay. So I'm going to roll 2. I have one of those.
Cool.
So let me just grab another D10. And roll them. Ouch. Nope. A 3 and a 4.
Ooh, yeah. So, if you can, roll me. So I think what happens here is you summon these bats to you. But you don't really have, you have some control. They seem to be avoiding, they don't seem to be kind of attacking as such. But a couple of them land on you. They kind of nibble at you, shall we say, is probably the best way of putting it. They're not like rending flesh or anything like that, but you can feel a couple of fangs sink into your flesh and a little bit of blood being drained. And if you can take me D6 echo stress, please.
Okay. I think I've got 1 echo protection. Is that a bonus to my die? Or
So no, that means that when you roll this dice, you'll essentially subtract 1 from it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or subtract your protection from it.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled a 1. So.
Yeah. Sure. So the the bats kind of feed off of you, and it's fine. Possibly disconcerts your traveling companions somewhat, but it has no ill effect on you. You can feel something in their bite flowing into your veins, but it feels familiar.
I have that, and I don't think it affects this at all, but maybe it's nice flavor. I have the ability Red Dominion. I don't bleed unless I want to.
Ah.
All right. So I think when they first latch onto Ishkran and they bite in, and it's obvious that they have bitten in, the others see nothing happen for a while until Ishkran decides to feed them and to kind of exchange antibodies or whatever the hell is going on here. So yeah, we are, feeding each other in some way.
Awesome.
There's a fair exchange of goods and services.
Yep.
Put it that way.
Perfect. In fact, tell you what, because I like that. I think I will. You can roll a D4 for progress, because I think that seems appropriate.
Oh, here's a 4.
Excellent. So
yeah,
you after a little further, you emerge from the odd cloying pitch darkness that you've been in. It's still dark, you're still underground in a not particularly well lit area, but there's still that kind of odd murky twilighty light that seems present in most places in the heart, even when you wouldn't necessarily expect it. Sort of returns, some combination of bizarre phosphorescent funguses and
it's video game light.
Yeah.
Totally
exactly, yeah. And that sort of like kind of, the odd like shaft of light that somehow manages to penetrate from the surface down some little weird holes, and you find the relic in your hand Morrow is pulling you down towards basically a hole in the ground. You can see it does kind of, it's not sheer, but it's a very steep descent. Possibly upside or possibly downside, depending on how you feel about tight spaces, is it's unlikely you kind of fall down there because it looks like it would be quite a tight squeeze, but it is you definitely think this is the way the relic wants you to go. Who's going to take the lead going down this?
I think, because I have the relic, I think I kind of like, I'm kneeling on the edge of the hole, and I kind of like hold the relic up and say, you two don't mind a tight squeeze, do you?
And I shake my head and I say, no, but I had best go first because I'm the largest of the three of us. And if I can't fit, then, well, you can push.
I think Morrow kind of stands up with that and says, well, far be it from me to get in the way of someone so self-sacrificing.
And I shrug and I take my gun belt off, and because I'm gonna haul that behind me and whatever, shuck my heavy coat and everything, and pull out my pistol, and into the hole I go.
Awesome. So yeah, this will probably be probably a delve warren again, unless you have another suggestion you wish to make.
Nope, I'm not really dodging anything, so I don't feel like evade really works for me. But yeah, but
Sure.
I do have warren because I'm used to
Yep.
patrolling tunnels and rat holes and stuff like that. And everything.
Yep. You're possibly not at home, but certainly are used to this sort of thing. It's very much, you'll get down. It will kind of even out a bit as you go down, but you're kind of going through these.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got to squeeze through and stuff. So it's whatever. I'm we're genuinely spelunking here. So, now is there a thing where I can wager stress to get extra dice or something like that? Or
no, though
not really. Okay.
What we can do, what people can, actually, there's two different. I'm just thinking which is the most appropriate way of doing this. Yeah, so someone can aid you if they wish. In which case, they give you they just give you an additional dice to roll. But if you take any stress, they also take stress as well.
Okay.
So does anyone wish to help?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna offer to help, given that my stress situation is much better than yours.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
I mean, fictionally, maybe you're better placed, but I'm sure I can.
Yeah, so I'm guessing maybe Scuttlebutt is taking the lead, and maybe Ishkran is bringing up the rear, and possibly even holding a rope or something for.
I was, if you have ever done real spelunking, I'm not joking, that sometimes you get in a spot where you can get through it, but you don't have purchase, or it's slippery, and if the person behind you can just give you a little shove on the bottom of your feet, or it will help you through that spot. The other thing he could do is hold a light behind me, because it's tough for me to, if I've got a pistol in one hand, I can't have a pistol out and scramble along if I'm also holding a torch or whatever, or my magical little light that I have in my hand that lights our way.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, you can roll with 3 then.
We'll go ahead and do that.
Scuttlebutt and
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Wow, this isn't going great.
Nice.
So, yes, so you will take. I think actually this will be fortune. So if you can both take me a d6 of fortune stress, please.
So that means what? I'm just going to roll a
So
d6?
you roll a d6, that's right, and then you take that as stress in the fortune box.
Okay, I got 2 there.
2, excellent.
I got 4.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so for now, Scuttlebutt, you are fine. However, Ishkran is quite literally not so lucky. You'll be taking a minor fortune fallout, which yes, so
so mechanically, can you explain why, even though Ishkran and I took the same amount, he's going to get...
yes, certainly. Sorry. So basically, whenever you take fallout, I roll a d12. If I roll under the amount of fallout that you currently have, or equal to or under, I think the amount of fallout you, sorry, the amount of stress you currently have, the total amount that is, so across all of your tracks, then you take a fallout. If I roll a 6 or under, and that's under your stress, you take a minor fallout. If I roll a 7 or up, and that's still under your stress, then you take a major fallout. So obviously, if you've only got like stress of up to 6, you can only take minor fallout. But once your stress gets above 6, you have the potential of also taking major fallout.
Cool. I wasn't hip to the fact that you were making a roll there as well.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. No, I've just been doing that with a physical die. But no, that's fine. So yeah, I think what we're going to go with is yeah, I think that what this actually means is there's a moment where so the floor that you're on, as you've been kind of as you've got deeper down these, because you're very definitely continuing down is the primary direction you're going in here. There's sort of spirals and drops and so on and so forth, as well as a bit of forward movement. The walls have got, rather than just being like packed earth and stone, there's it's difficult to tell exactly what it is about it, but like the floor feels a bit more brittle and crunches under your feet often. And as you've been going through this particular piece of tunnel, the first 2 of you get across okay, but the floor crumbles beneath your feet. Ishkran, it must have just been like the last thing it needed to go. And you you fall down through this floor, and it's almost like shells or something that you're falling down through. And you don't fall far, only like a few feet or so, but you fall into another cavern below. And inside it, this odd shell-like chitinous pit that you've fallen into, you start seeing movement around you as these like spiders start swarming around you. They have very shiny skin and chitin that reflects what light you have on them. And they start swarming towards you. So we're going to go into an actual combat here. The way this works, there's no like set initiative order in Heart. We don't roll for initiative or anything like that. What happens is essentially I will sort of determine who is the first person to act by sort of where we are in the fiction. And then when that person has had a chance to act, they can then pass initiative onto another person. That can either be one of the other players or it can be me. And we move on like that, just sort of passing initiative between us. And so, Ishkran, we will start with you as you are down at the bottom of this. Like I said, it's only a few feet, but there's not much perch on the walls because it's all sort of crumbling chitinous. Like I said, just like layers and layers of shells stacked up almost. And a swarm of these spiders. The spiders are pretty much like big spider size, but they're not like giant spiders. They're sort of like, an inch or two across maybe. But they seem to be swarming towards you. What do you do?
So I think Ishkran has no smart ideas on how to fight things, this many things, this small in a tight space. So I think he's just going to kind of leap out of the hole he's in, or climb out to get some distance between them. Maybe I guess he's happy to, well, happy is the wrong word. He's willing to leave them reach him so long as they can't, swarm his entire body. So, he won't be moving so fast as to, do something silly and fall back in the hole, but he'll take a little bit of pain to make sure of it.
Cool. I think that sounds like an endure wild, please.
Okay. Grab another D10. So I got a 10.
Perfect. Yeah, you managed to scramble back up into the tunnel above with the other two, though you do seem to have raised the ire of these spiders, and they are continuing to swarm out of the hole behind you. And yeah, you can pass on initiative to whoever you choose.
So I think in terms of our order, it makes the most sense to pass it on to Morrow. If Scuttlebutt is the first, I'm not sure there's room enough for everyone to turn around, and change order in this tight space.
Sure thing. So yeah, Morrow, what do you do?
I think there's no mechanically, there's no spell for this, but I think when Morrow does is like we hear like she sees the skittering and all the spiders and whatnot. I think what she'll do is that light trick that she did last week, I think she'll put off again, which is basically she'll let the light of the moon kind of like flow from her, but this time it's gonna be like a flashbang effect, like big piercing bright light as kind of like tries to like ward those spiders off. I think that's what that looks like.
Sure thing. Yeah, I think this will. I think this will probably be a kill religion.
Yeah, two things I'm quite good at. Well, not well. For some reason, I don't know how a priestess got to be good at killing. Okay, this time I won't mark. Or should I? Okay, marking stress on mine. The nice thing with this relic with the conduit is that once per situation, we have moved on from one situation to another. You know what? Fuck it. It's it'll make things easy. I'm just gonna again. I'm using the gauntlet anyway as a conduit for this flashbang effects. I'm gonna roll the d4 first. And that's a 4.
So that takes you.
Yeah, it takes you to 9 stress in total, but that gives me 4 die.
You're okay for now. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I rolled 3 1s and a 7, so I'm gonna take stress again. So
you are. So I think you will take. We will call this. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry. Yes. So, well, if you want to do your damage first, so you're on D6. Oh, yes, you're on D6, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's that's how much my relic can do. All that for a 3. All that for a 3.
That's okay. I think because of the effect you've gone for, this does that they essentially have some protection against things that only target one thing, but obviously you're doing kind of a big area blast of light, so that's fine. So you'll do 3 to them, and then if you would like to take D6, D6 blood stress, please.
Oh, lovely. That's another 3.
Okay, so you also take 3 blood, and however, that does also do a point of damage to them because they basically kill by just like getting into your face. Well, in your case, they'll kind of just clog up your armor, and they're kind of forcing themselves through it. And you can feel that they're obviously dying as they're doing this, but they're still scrabbling at you. Cool. So, I believe that means that we will see whether you only take a minor blood for that. You'll be pleased to know. So you'll actually remove 6 stress from your mind. I think something always goes off your highest.
Mm-hmm.
And
still leaves you with 6 stress overall.
Yeah. And we will go for blood fallout. Okay, yeah. So I think I think what you've got here is, like I said, you've got lots of these little spider bites under your armor, and you can feel like a mild poison going through here. Nothing super dangerous, but at the minute it's just very, very painful. So you've got the ringing head condition. What this means is that the next action you take is dangerous, which I think basically means that you're rolling fewer dice than normal for it. The one after that will be risky, which is the same again. but then after that, you're fine, and the fallout goes. Oh, I should have also said, essentially, Ishkran, your falling into the spider pit was essentially it was a fallout that immediately resolves. It was something bad happens to you, and yeah, that was it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you get to pass on initiative.
Yeah. Let's see. So we're kind of still in this tight space, and Scuttlebutt is in front. I'm wondering how much he can do from front. I guess he can try to lead us out of this, but I guess I'll pass on to Scuttlebutt.
Yeah, I am of the opinion that like if we get out of their nest, they will leave us alone. Like if I can, I'm gonna reach back to try and haul Morrow. No, it's not Morrow. It's Ishkran who fell, right?
It was Ishkran who kind of fell originally, but it's Morrow who's currently being swarmed by these creatures as she unleashed her power on them. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to reach back and do that same thing where I hold out that hand tomorrow, like when I helped her up, and I'm just going to grab her and haul her bodily through the tunnels, like hauling us along with my other arm, just to try and get her away from where the nest of them is.
Excellent. That will be an evade Warren, please.
Oh, hey, look, I'm good at that. All right, so I'm rolling 3 dice for that. Is how that works?
That's right. Yep.
Awesome. There's a 7.
A 7. Okay, so we will. You will get Morrow away, but again, a few of these spiders will bite you. They kind of crawl from over her armor up your arm and start biting up your forearm as you're dragging them away. So again, if you can take me D6 blood stress, please.
All right. That's a 3.
Cool. Yep. And I will roll just to see if you get any fallout from that. You do not. You're fine for the moment still. Yeah, and again, you get to pass on initiative.
Like now I've got Morrow. I'm hauling her out. So I kind of look back at her and I say, "Can you get these things off of us?" Now that we've kind of cleared the mass of them.
Years.
Oh, I let her hand go and clamp my, pull my hat down over my whatever. Yeah, I'll cover my ears.
I mean, these goddesses are paying me for like spreading the good word about them to everyone and everything. Yeah, so that's me making communion again. I will
fortuitously mash the spider that was about to crawl into my ear as I do that.
All right, so that's compel religion. Yeah, just a 3. I'm gonna stop taking stress. I think that was once per situation. I already did it, so it's fine. Okay, I can't do it anymore. Ooh, that's an 8, so that's just a success.
It is, yeah. No incurred stress. At this point, you successfully push back the last of the spiders off of you, or at least the last enough of you break off sort of the main body of the spiders. And there's probably still a few clinging to you and occasionally nibbling, but you manage to push them back and escape from the nest. Cool. So I'm going to call another quick 5-minute break there. Then we will come back, and I think there's another encounter I wish you to deal with, and then we'll probably move things on to the cathedral. So cool. I will see you all back in about 5 minutes. Cool. Welcome back, everyone. So you will finally emerge from the tight, twisty tunnels you've been following down. And I said the ground and the walls here are strange. They feel, there is, like I said, that sort of almost glossy feel to them that feels more organic than stone. It's still hard beneath your feet, but there's just something slightly odd about it. And as you come through this tunnel, you enter a sort of oblong chamber almost. There are what almost look like trees, but not living trees. They look gnarled and devoid of leaves, but they still have that kind of spreading, twisting shape, kind of like contorted willow. Coming out, sort of almost forming like an avenue down through this cavern. And again, there's just that sort of odd, almost again like moonlight in here, like slightly odd and silvery, and kind of makes shadows behave in strange ways. And inside the branches of these trees, for want of a better word, are strange. It almost looks like mist when you first see it, kind of shimmery, but you notice it's actually moving. And as it solidifies, you will each see in there a figure from your past, probably dead, but maybe still alive. So, Scuttlebutt, who appears to you from within this spectral mist?
Oh, it's like, and this is like, could be anybody, right?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, like a hallucination kind of a thing. Oh, this is definitely, yeah, this is definitely my partner. From when I was like a more respectable watchman who basically got ambushed and murdered because I was drinking instead of on patrol with them like I was supposed to be.
Well, Scuttlebutt, I didn't expect to see you down here. Always the wrong place at the wrong time, huh?
I did not expect to see you down here either, Tombs.
Yeah, well, we all got to end up somewhere, I suppose. Those people you left behind, none of them will get out either, but I guess it doesn't matter much because neither will you, so.
I'm not trying to get out. I want to get in. Whatever is in the heart, that's going to be my redemption. That's you'll see. I will. I don't think this is really you, but even if it is, you'll see.
Redemptions for the storybooks. There's nothing waiting for you in the heart except what waits for all of us. But be my guest. May as well get it over with quick.
You're going to have to step aside then.
Well, be my guest. And he kind of, makes a broad gesture with his arm pointing down towards the end of the corridor. And his, like, even as he does it, like his hand and his finger start to sort of trail off into sort of the misty wisps of mist again, and starts knitting themselves back around the tree. And you can indeed mark your beat there if you would like.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that sure hits it.
Yep.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Cool. So, Morrow, who do you see coming out of the mist?
Oh no, this is what happens when you create a mysterious PC and now you didn't bother giving him much of a backstory. Oh, can I be really crass and say that she sees herself?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Except not this armored form. She sees this person clad in this like kind of like billowing black gown with lots of like really intricate gold like threading and kind of like over this like black shape. If you look closely, you can see that it's actual gold threaded through the cloth, and it's a lot of gold. It's making this like spiral crescent shapes on the gown, and her face is covered with this just this kind of ornate mask that looks like it's shaped to look like a bird, I suppose. It points forward. It looks like it's made out of like different shards of pale white glass. But except for the eyes are like this dark obsidian, and she carries herself in just not unlike quite a lot like Morrow, which is like a statue, which I've described her as a walking statue. But yeah, this is the figure that Morrow sees. This figure is clearly a lot like her, but it's also clearly elf here.
Really, I can't believe what you have done with us.
Considering the lengths I had to do to kill you off, you really shouldn't be shocked.
You didn't kill me off. I'm still there, trapped somewhere under all the madness you have invited into yourself. Why would you do such a thing?
I want to ask if we were ever happy, but I think I know what you'd say.
We were certainly content. We were not trapped beneath the earth in a madman's dream. I think those are at least 2 points in my favor.
Well, you can garner as many points as you want, but from where I'm standing, you're the one that the heart had to dig out of me, and I'm the one standing on my own 2 feet doing what I want. If you want to switch places, you're just gonna have to do what I did. Well, do what I did to you.
I hope that once your mind has been utterly destroyed by this foolish quest of yours, enough of your body remains that I can gain control of it.
That seems like something you do. Just sit back, watch everyone else burn for you, take the credit.
At least I have something to take credit for. Go. Race to your destruction. I would try and stop you, but I know there is no point. And she kind of crosses her arms over her chest in a sullen manner, and kind of sinks down and does that sort of thing like Mist does, where it just kind of like pools across the floor before running up the branch, the trunk and stems of the tree again.
Yeah, I think I watched that happen, and I think I kind of like just say underneath my breath, then see you soon. Morrow breaks the dawn. And I'll keep walking.
Excellent. And finally, the mist forms in front of you, Ishkran. And who do you see?
I think we see Dusana, who is the witch who held Ishkran captive when his abilities first showed themselves. And she kept him as a blood bag to power her own magic.
You can never escape from me, boy. No matter how far you run, how deep you go, I will always be there.
But soon you won't even be on our level of things to be afraid of, Dusana. There's much worse down here than you.
So, out of the frying pan into the fire, is it you would rather die by anyone's hand but mine?
Well, when I return, having consumed the heart, I will return your dagger to you.
Foolish child, you, and then her face dissolves, and the mist still has a humanoid form, but it's like entirely devoid of expression, and it looks like almost like a sort of shop mannequin wreathed in sort of the mist. Well done, child. One step closer to me. You are doing well. The invaders soon will all be gone. You will be my instrument in this retribution. Come to me.
I think if the others are looking at Ishkran, maybe this is not a shared hallucination or something like this. Maybe they'll see him not move at all, but one of those spiders from the last encounter is like crawling down his scalp, and scuttles away into some strapping or some of his clothes.
Awesome. So you proceed through this sort of antechamber, we'll call it, this like strange underground avenue, and you come out, and it's odd. There is in front of you, there is it is a cathedral. like you'd expect to see sort of on the surface of the world, kind of very gothic and fluted and tall, but it's almost like the cavern has formed around it. So parts of the spires are just melded into this smooth, glassy stone chitin shell, whatever it is that forms the walls of the cavern you're in. And parts just like as well, bits of it just seem to be like embedded into the wall. It's as I said, it looks out of place here. The castle itself is made of highly polished black granite that doesn't seem to have been marred by however long it's been down here. Yeah, this certainly, and it should go without saying that this is definitely the place that the relic is pulling you to, Morrow. What do you do?
I think I kind of like, as soon as I kind of see that, it's just like, I just walk forward, I ignore the other two. I'm pulling the relic out of my, whenever I keep my stuff, and I'm moving towards the door and just entranced by it. I can, there's the skittering voice in my head are still there. Did not get properly sloshed from that one mushroom wine drink. But I think they're getting a bit louder.
They absolutely are.
Mixed with the ringing and the fascination and all those fallouts.
Yes. So, as you push on the door, it swings open under your touch. It barely needs any pressure at all, though. These are clearly heavy steel or iron, I suppose, like cast iron doors, almost heavy and black. But they slide open as if weighted, and both of them slide open at once, revealing the interior of the cathedral. Again, it's dark. The walls are black. It's that granite just flecked with very faint pieces of crystal or whatever that give it that kind of slight glimmering sheen. And there's a lot of silver in here as well, which reflects the odd silvery moonlight that seems to be suffusing the place. However, what draws your immediate attention is a tall figure, probably 8-9 foot tall. They look, those medical models where all the skin and flesh is removed to just show like the musculature underneath. They look kind of like that, but with huge wings as well. And despite the fact that they shouldn't in any way be, there's still something beautiful about their face, despite the fact that it is just a mass of muscle. Their eyes glow silver, and they have in their hand a long silver mace. And you know immediately that this is Selenelian.
I think I kind of like, I'm taken aback by the sight. I've heard of this creature, but I didn't expect to see it. And I think I could just, I'm a bit overwhelmed.
Yes. And presumably this time the other two of you will see this creature as well. And you will also both know instinctively that this is Selenelian. The word just works its way into your brain. As you know, this is definitely a part of where you are. For you, Ishkran, their name in your head is almost comfortable, but not quite. And they probably speak, you definitely hear words, all of you. Welcome, pilgrims, to the Knight's Cathedral. I regret that your pilgrimage must end here.
I just hold up my arms, like kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I say, I fear that you have mistaken, well, at least my intentions, sir, or, and I kind of look down, sir, madam, is it, or is it just, or is it like hard to tell?
You may call me Selenelian.
Selenelian? I am not a pilgrim. I am a tourist. So I have taken in the sights and guided my good friends here to where they would like to go. And so by your leave, I'll just, and I kind of start to kind of back away.
This can't be the end.
There will be no escape. Those who venture here must be ended. Know that I take no joy in what I do. I take no joy in anything. I merely am. And you will soon not be.
What a miserable fucking existence that must be. If, good sir, you're in our way. And if you're fit to just be, then maybe we should end your misery.
Many have tried, young pilgrim. None have lived to tell of it.
So I think Ishkran has seen enough of this talking, and he raises a hand at Elion and starts an incantation to exsanguinate him where he stands.
Excellent. Yes, indeed. You may roll what needs to be rolled.
So I've got a couple of things. I need to do Crucible first before I cast the spell.
Sure thing.
And I don't have any echo stress at the moment, so I'm going to be taking D6 straight away.
Sure thing, yep.
It's exciting. But I do have 2 protection on echo, so...
Sure thing.
I rolled a 5, so that's 3.
Yep. I'll just do a quick... Sorry. Yeah, and you're fine for the moment.
Okay. And then when I exsanguinate, you pluck a target's blood out of its mouth and nose, choking it on its own viscera. This functions as a weapon with the following tags: D6, ranged, and witch.
Sure.
So I'm not sure if this is a cult, maybe.
Yeah,
Or,
I think occult. Sorry, I'm just looking at domains again. Yeah, it would probably be occult kill, unless you think you have something else that you could bring into that.
I mean, I know we use mend to break something, but I don't think that should work on a person. Like
yeah,
this.
probably
Yeah.
not probably not in this situation. There.
Person, well, whatever, whatever's going on here. So does that tag which means, like, is that an extra die, or is that count as mastery, or what's?
I think it means that you can I think it just means, so I'll just quickly check. I think that what it means is, so you can mark stress. So if you, when you're using this weapon, if you take stress, you can choose to mark it as echo stress rather than stress of any other kind.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm rolling 2d10. Yeah. I got a 9.
A 9, excellent. Yeah, that's a straight up success. You don't take any stress, and you do your stress in damage to it.
Ooh, I got a 6.
6, excellent. So yeah, as you kind of put out your hand to draw the blood from it, like blood pours from everywhere because there's nothing between it, really, between its blood and the outside world anyway. And the blood coming out of it comes out in like copious amounts. It's dripping down it and reaching towards you. Yeah, it's a mess, and there's just something about the blood. You can all kind of smell this power to its blood. Yeah, it's a heady scent, and that's your opportunity to pass initiative onto someone else. Ishkran.
I think we want to see Scuttlebutt kick some butt.
Oops, you're muted. Sorry.
All right, so like it did its thing, and he pulled some blood out of it and stuff like that and everything. Let me see. Let me read something here real quick.
Yeah, go for it. I just need to check up something actually about.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to clarify, while Jim's looking up. So basically, Morrow, the first action you roll will be at 2 fewer dice than normal. The next one will be at 1 fewer dice, then you're back to normal again. If that takes you down to technically below 1 dice, then stuff happens. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
And I see that, and I kind of like my eyes open, and I say, no one is ending me here today. And I just kind of reach down and come up with my pistol and just like put a couple of rounds in his face.
Brilliant. Yes. So that will be. I'll just double check.
I'm a terrible shot.
Yeah, so I think that will be it will be kill, because you are going for the kill here.
Yep.
But I think this place actually, like, it's not safe at the moment, but this does count as a haven, because that is its purpose if it's not currently serving that.
I will not say no and roll 2 dice. Here we go. Let's see what we got. That's a 5 is what I ended up with.
A 5. Yeah, so you fire a bullet and it thunks wetly into its chest. But the
I don't fire a bullet. I empty the gun into him because I have to reload between, like it's a repeater pistol. So just like bam, boom, 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 boom.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it like, and I think it maybe kind of does that sort of like knocks it back on its feet a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of like looks at you, and even though there's not really much expression to its face, you can still feel the contempt washing off of it. And it will actually, no, I don't think it's even going to take any action to you at you for the moment, but you can take me D6 stress to supplies as you empty off a whole, like, gun full of ammunition at it.
Yeah, you bet. So I'm going back to the front page here.
Yep.
Character keeper page. Oh, supplies. That's cool. I like that. That's neat. Okay. I got a 2.
Cool. And I will. Okay, so you do take minor fallout. I'm just going to check what supplies will give you on a minor fallout. I think.
I shouldn't have left all those bullets to pay for my wine.
Exactly. Yeah. So you empty the clip at it. There was not the clip, but you empty the cylinder, whatever you call it, at it.
Yeah.
And as you reach down to reload, you don't seem to have any more bullets, but you do. You will clear all of your blood stress, which may come in handy, because
I don't have any blood stress, so I'm.
Oh, sorry, no, I just deleted that for you. So.
Oh! You took it off of there. There we go.
Sorry.
Cool.
Yeah,
okay,
no, that's okay. Sorry, just while I was just checking out.
Messing with my character sheet, man.
I know. Yeah. Cool. And yes, you get to pass on initiative.
I want to know. I want to hear Ms. Morrow give it more shade.
That's fair.
Yeah, well, I think what's going to happen is Morrow is going to dramatically take her helmet off, and just in a very Eowyn from Lord of the Rings sort of moment, she takes it off, and I think you'll see this like thin Alfir woman's face. She has like she has a face that could like cut through butter. Her cheekbones are very sharp, but I think the thing is as well is that inscribed all over her face are like these spiral silver tattoos. They kind of like glint in the moonlight, and like Scuttlebutt wants me to throw shade at Selenilian, but I'd rather just like that. This will be the third time I'm casting a spell, but I'm letting the goddesses below talk to me. So I think Morrow just shouts again, ears, and yeah, I'm gonna keep casting this spell because it works. So compel plus religion. This is a new situation. I can rely on my groovy gauntlet again.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Actually, hold on. I don't have to, because I think what I'm going to do is my core enlightenment ability, it lets me, before I roll an action, I can state that the result is a 6.
Yes. And I think that still counts for it being your dangerous action, so it will essentially knock one off because you are still taking an action. So that seems like a fair.
So I still succeed, but I still take stress. But I think I'll just fall to my knees again, and I think as loud as I can. It's like these 3 voices pour out, try and overwhelm the Selenilian.
Excellent. So you will be taking stress, but you get to roll your stress first. So that's is it D6 still for you?
Yeah, D6. I rolled a 5.
5, nice. And what you will notice is that as you let the power of the moon beneath out through your voice, it does seem to tear through this, and the creature grimaces and yells, and this seems to be like, this does seem to really hurt it. It does not like this. However, it will let out a howl of pain, but then surge towards you. It's it just actually, it's got like this mace in one hand, but it doesn't actually strike at you with it. It's actually its empty hand it comes at you with. It sort of stretches out its long, its fingers seem to kind of almost elongate, and they form like talons of blood, and it slams into your chest. And you can take me D10 blood stress, please.
Ooh, I will say, when I took an addition to this communion ability, I shall have no fear when I successfully use communion. For the rest of the situation, I get blood protection by 2. I get 2 blood protection.
Nice.
But this is still a D10.
Yeah.
So that's a 9. That's still a 7.
Yeah. So
that's a lot. You don't even need to roll.
I mean, technically, I need to roll to see if it's if it's.
I forgot that's a new
you're,
thing.
You're lucky you get minor again. Yeah,
that's a new thing for the playtest. That's a different thing.
Yeah, because they realized that you were actually, the way that it worked before, you were actually more likely to get major fallout than minor fallout. Because
that happened a lot.
Yeah,
when I was running.
Which was not as intended. So I think, though, in this case, what I probably will do is I'm going to have a look at the fallouts. So I think I am going to yeah. Yeah, I think actually what we'll go with for the fallout there is essentially you lose your blood protection now, as it just rips apart even though the armor you have is kind of ineffable, it just sort of tears through it. But you do clear 6 stress off of your blood, taking it down to a 4.
Yeah, I think as the blood hands kind of like shred through, I think it tears through Morrow's armor, and it's just like, I don't know what they wear underneath armor. It's probably just some sort of, I'm actually not sure. So I'll figure that out later.
Cool.
But yeah, I think it's unmistakable now. Like, well, obviously it was unmistakable when she took off the helmet, but yeah, she's clearly like not like drow or human, but one of those very nice Elfir from Spire.
Excellent. And yeah, you get to pass initiative to whoever you choose.
I think, let's see. Scuttlebutt's out of ammo. Ishkran's doing fine. This thing's made of blood. He's made of blood, but technically we all are, but he can do blood stuff. So I think, yeah, should go to Ishkran.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also just going to call out, we are at 5-2 now. Are people okay running over by a few minutes? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I think as this thing approaches Morrow, Ishkran is holding his ground and, rinse and repeat, right? Use the same spell against the same target, just once more with feeling. Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll the Crucible again. Let's see what happens to my stress. Okay, I rolled a 3, which is equal to my current Echo stress. So I clear that much stress from Echo. So I lose all of my stress in Echo.
Nice.
And then it says if I do that, I roll with Mastery.
Yep, so you'll roll an additional dice, but assuming you weren't getting mastery from some other source, you'll be rolling an additional dice.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, it says the next time you cast a spell from this class, is that not this time? Or
I think that's this time, yeah, because that kind of happens before you cast the spell, so that's how I'd interpret that anyway.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's the same as before. It's 2 dice.
Oh, plus an additional one if you're rolling with mastery. So
sorry. Yeah. 2 5s.
Yeah, so I think you reach out and again go to pull the blood out of it, but it turns and gives you a proper like skeletal grim, smiling grimace thing between its like muscled face. And as you hold out your hand to it, you feel blood starting to pool underneath your fingernails and be ripped out of your hand towards it. So you will be taking D10 stress. Obviously, you can, if you wish, choose to take that as echo stress rather than blood stress. Otherwise, you'll be taking it as blood stress.
Yeah, I think I'll take it as blood. Which I have 2 protection against. So okay.
Sure thing.
We'll see how much that is. I rolled a 7, so that is 5. Okay.
And you will take a minor fallout on that as well. So, I think I will go for a similar one there. I will again apply Shattered to you, so your blood protection is not working until you get a chance to rest up, basically, as you feel like, so you can basically just feel the blood seeping out of your, not even just out of your fingers now, but just sort of, it's almost like you're sweating blood as it works. It's vital magics upon you, but again, you will clear 3 blood stress as a result of taking that fallout.
Okay. I guess I'll pass it on to Scuttlebutt. Is there a backup pistol in your armory, or is it down to good old-fashioned sword?
It's this knife I've got in my boot, if it comes to that. What is the can you just kind of lay out the landscape for me here?
Sure.
So it's like blocking the door. What's going on?
No, it's sort of inside the. It's in like the. Essentially, it's like in the aisle of. So imagine a fairly classic cathedral. Essentially, it's got the big naves and columns. It's sort of more or less in the center of the aisle. It's not actually at the altar. I don't think. I think it's probably has come up to meet you as you're, I guess, at the moment more or less gathered around in like the sort of the entryway bit where like the font and stuff would be. There probably isn't actually. Oh, there's like a reflecting moon pool in the floor under a big hole in the ceiling, though, or at least under where you think there would have been a hole in the ceiling before the cave grew around it.
Is there like water in the pool, or
there is? Yes, it seems quite fresh as well. Actually, it unusually so for here.
That's super weird. All right. like I don't feel like stabbing this thing is going to do me any good whatsoever. You know, and like my crazy like witch blood drinking witch companions and like shouty people are there. So I'm just gonna like you know, gun didn't work. I just holster it. I like look down at my boot at that like trench knife in my boot, and I just kind of shake my head, and I'm just gonna kind of cut to the side down between some of the pews and just kind of go running up the aisle towards the back of the church to see what I can find. If there's anything that I feel like I just to you know, just to see what's there, basically.
Yeah, sure.
I can mess with.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm going to ask you to give me an evade haven roll to get there without it sort of intercepting you on the way.
Yeah, sure thing. That I'm good at staying out of the way of trouble. Oh, that's my 10.
Perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a critical success. So yes, you get down it, and I think it's almost like you just kind of bolt down and around the side through sort of the nave down towards the altar end of the cathedral. And again, it's almost probably just not really paying attention to you even because it considers you beneath it. And you reach the end of the altar. It reaches sort of the altar end of this cathedral, and there is a pure silver disc that's kind of mounted on like an altar, but it's kind of thin and it's sharp at the edges, quite big. You'd probably need 2 hands to carry it with, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm having trouble picturing this. So
it's kind of set like on a stand.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like on this altar, yeah, and it's set there. And again, it looks completely untarnished and indeed untouched.
Got it. So is it like an ornament, or is this something that they use to like cut people over the altar, or what?
It's probably just an ornament.
Okay.
It looks like a religious symbol of some description. It's sort of set on like a black velvet drapery over the altar.
Yeah.
But you reckon you could definitely get this like silver disc out of the stand it's in.
I'm gonna hop up on the altar. I'm just gonna kind of look over my shoulder at this thing being all and then just like step forward and aim a good hard kick at that thing and just smash it over.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah.
Just kind of vandalizing the place.
Yeah, sure thing. And I think it just turns around to at that sound. It turns around to stare at you and says, "Be gone from this place."
And like I look at it and I was like, "Wait, do you want us to leave? Because we'll leave. I thought you were gonna end me."
I will end you, creature.
You're doing a lot of talking about it.
And it sort of paces towards you.
And like the second it turns towards me, that's when I wink at Ms. Morrow.
Yeah, I think Morrow's kind of like recovered from it's gotten up from having her armor shredded. I think there's probably just like basic chainmail or whatnot, and I think I see this exchange, and I think there's part of her that's like wants to shout at Scuttlebutt don't, that's a precious artifact, don't you dare. But I think she realizes what he's doing at that wing. So I think what she's gonna do is she still has her gauntlet because that's kind of like her relic, and she kind of like she made a connection with the goddesses through that communion. So I hope that connection's still there, and so that gauntlet kind of like fills a bit with that light's power, with that moonlight, and she's gonna run forward and try to grab onto the back of Selenilian, and with that gauntlet coursing with power right on his skin.
Just snag one of those wings.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. Yes. So, yeah, you will. In fact, I'm just going to give you mastery for the rather than make it an aid roll per se. I'm going to give you mastery on this because Selenilian is distracted by the distraction.
Yeah, I was ready to kick in a die and take some consequences, but I like that suggestion even better.
Yeah.
You don't want me to roll for more stress?
You do still have the last effect of ringing head, so you will be down 1 dice. But yeah, you know that's.
But if you're giving a mastery already, so
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, the way difficulty works, whatever the highest goes away. So I have to look at the second.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, yes, that's
Yeah, so I still roll 4. So whatever's the highest doesn't count.
Yes, that's it. So yes, you are correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thankfully, I rolled a 9 and 2 8s, so it's a success.
Excellent. Yep. So you can now also clear your ringing head condition fallout, and yeah, roll your damage, stress, whatever you would call it.
Yeah, it's still a D6. Ooh, that's a 6.
Nice. You tear off one of its wings and it screeches. Again, it sounds a bit like the Heart's Blood bats, actually. It's that sort of same sort of register. It does not sound like a human sound it's making. And it turns around to you and steps backwards, but you realize there's a point where it tries to you can see it goes to take a step back, but it can't as it's approached the altar. It's almost like it's hitting a wall. And you may pass on initiative.
Hell yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I think to Ishkran. Probably Morrow has some things to say, but let's keep this moving.
Yeah, I think if my magical attacks on this have been to pull blood in my direction, I think now what I'm doing is I'm pushing into this magical or divine barrier where its back is up against, and pushing with all my might. So let me roll for this crucible. It's 4 echo stress.
Sure thing. I will see if you get any. I'm also going to say you will be taking a minor fallout for that, but we will deal with that in a moment. Okay. So you will then also clear all of that echo stress. I
was hoping for your major fallout.
Yeah, no, sadly, so it's only a minor there.
I know.
So you won't clear all of it. You'll clear. Sorry, yes, you'll clear. No, you will clear all of it. Sorry, I was reading the numbers wrong. Cool. But I am going to say as well, you can make, because you're kind of trying to channel light constantly into it, you can make this because my impression is you're more trying to just press it against this barrier. So if you wish to make that as an endure occult, then that is cool.
Okay, so I'll roll 3 dice.
And I will quickly look up some fun fallout for you whilst I do that.
No, I think my last session's luck has drained me for this, so I got a 5 again, highest.
Ooh, okay, so yeah, go on. We'll give you a fun one. Mark the Ravening Call on your sheet. It has no effect currently, though you can hear a strange howling sound in the back of your head.
That's call CALL and not
Yes,
CAUL.
that's correct. Yeah, CALL.
I'm not sure which would be worse, but hey.
And then this thing, it throws this. It's the mace it's carrying. It just hurls it at you. So again, you can take me D10 stress to blood by intent, but obviously again you can, because you did this with your witch weapon, you can choose to take that as echo instead.
Okay, I rolled a 1, so I guess I'll take it on echo.
Yep. So yes, in fact that will bounce off of your protection.
Oh yeah, so you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it throws this mace at you, but yeah, it hits you, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter all that much.
But now we have a mace, right?
Yeah, you have this silver mace at your feet. Cool. So yeah, and again, you get to pass on initiative to.
Yeah, I want to see this moon artifact do its worst, but maybe you could do a follow-up attack, Scuttlebutt.
Yeah. So is there anything else back here besides this altar that I'm standing on and the thing that I kicked over?
There's some big, again, you reckon there would have been some big stained glass windows or something, but again, the wall of the cave has grown through the cathedral at that point. There are a couple of doors leading off to the back that you reckon, may lead to like a vestry or similar sort of situation towards the back of the church or cathedral.
And the thing very clearly can't get to me, right?
It certainly doesn't seem to be able to at the minute. There definitely seems to be some sort of thing. Something is protecting you here.
All right. So I just plop down and sit cross-legged on the altar and pull out the little bit of mushroom wine that I had left and kind of pop it off. And I say, and I just kind of I take a swig as I'm looking at it, and I kind of wave my hand and say, I'm not ended yet. Still not ended. Come on, end me. And just taunt it.
Excellent. Cool. That would probably be a compel. Let's see. It would probably be a compel.
And is this Haven still, or?
Yeah, I'll give you a compel Haven, and I will give you mastery for the fact that you're again essentially using this thing to your apparent invulnerability to
So what does mastery do for me mechanically with the dice?
It gives you an extra dice, basically.
There you go. So I'm rolling 3, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. There's a 9.
9, perfect. So yeah, I think it actually does turn. It turns properly around towards you now again, and you can see it kind of pressing. It looks almost like it's doing a mime show. You can't see what it's pressing against, but it's scratching and pressing at something, and you can almost feel the tension in the air, but it just cannot get at you. And there's fury burning in its eyes.
And I smile and kind of pat the altar like my good friend, the altar. And then I kind of say, I wonder what that would do to you. And I point at the mace that's at Ishkran's feet.
Cool.
And pass initiative off to him.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna. I have to use the mace after that setup. So yeah, I think maybe if its attention has been kind of captivated by Scuttlebutt, maybe he turns around to look at me just in time to get the mace in the face.
Yep, perfect. So this will be a kill, either occult or cursed, which I believe you have both of.
Yeah,
But you will again also you will be getting mastery on this action.
okay. Nope, I got a 5.
Yes, so you swing at it, but it spins around, and again, its fingers elongate into these talon-like protrusions, and it just claws at you. And again, you can take me another D10 stress, please. Again, it will be coming in as blood, but you have the option to turn it to echo if you wish.
Okay, that's.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, you don't this time. Sorry,
Okay.
because you're using.
I'm not using magic.
You're not using a. Yeah.
That's 9 stress in blood, which is pretty good going. Why couldn't I not roll a 9 there?
Yeah. So we will. Minor again. My rolls on these dice have. I mean, they've technically been good for me in the sense that I have been consistently giving out fallout, but let's see. Yeah, I think it grabs the hand that you're holding the mace in and twists it, and you can feel bones popping as it crushes your hand between its hand and the mace. So if you would like to note that your dominant hand is injured, you can so any offensive action you make in combat becomes risky. Any tasks that require fine dexterity are out of the question. But again, you do clear 6 stress off of your blood.
Okay.
And you get to pass on initiative.
Yes, save us, Morrow. You're our only hope. Yeah?
Remind me, am I still on him? Or did I get thrown away after I ripped off his wing?
You're nearby, I think. He's maybe. I mean, you can be on him if you wish for dramatic purposes, but yeah, you're certainly within reach of him. It's
yeah, I do. I kind of, because I don't think we established what happened tomorrow after she ripped off one of the wings. I think she's still kind of clinging on to him as he's turning around, being distracted by the other two, and I think while the theater is happening, Morris is going to just climb up to the back of his neck, and that's where I'm going to press the gauntlet into the back of his head. And I'm marking stress to roll at mastery. I'm using the gauntlet as a conduit. But that take the edge off means if I mark stress to mine, I have to roll 2 and take the highest.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Oh, they rolled both 2, so that's fine.
Yeah,
so
could be worse.
Could be worse.
You're still fine for the moment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's a kill religion.
Yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't want. No, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to kill religion. Not religion as a whole. That's 4 dice. Oh, thank Christ, that's a 9.
Yeah. So roll your stress.
Ooh, that's a 2.
2. That is just enough. You grab it and like almost choke it out with the power. There's this light is like surging from your hand, and it drops to the floor. And I think that is where we will call the session. So thank you very much, everyone. that in case you're wondering, that was just an angel you took on. So they are intended to be very, very nasty. So thank you very much for that, everyone. I'm going to stop the.
As long as I get to say, well, someone got ended.
Excellent. Cool. So I'm just going to stop the recording briefly. So thank you.